There's the culprit. Where'd he go? Oh, there he goes. And that's the little culprit who's been munching away on the blueberries. So the first few years of life for a blueberry are really important. If they get stunted early on for whatever reason, they just don't seem to grow very well from there on out, from what I've experienced. And so what I've had happen to a lot of plants is early on they'll get eaten down by rabbits or other small animals, and they just take forever to recover, or they only send up one stalk, and in the end you're going to want lots of stalks so you have a nice bushy plant. And then, every few years you can cut out an old stalk and let a new one grow back up. And if you don't protect them with some sort of cage around the plant, you'll see that you just don't get a very healthy looking blueberry bush in the end. And so I'm going to show you some examples of some of mine that have been protected and some that haven't, and you can see what a difference it'll make. This was a plant that was planted last year. As you can see, it's doing great. It's probably about 4 feet tall. This plant was planted 6 years ago. It has continually gotten eaten by rabbits or other small animals, and I finally put a cage around it. We'll see if it ever recovers, but that is why you want to protect your young plants with some sort of cage, like I do on most of these. Some of these are getting big enough they probably don't need a cage. Oh, I think I just saw a bunny over there. Where'd he go? Where's the culprit? Yep, there he is. There's that little bugger. Yep, there he goes. That's the guy. Mowing him down. Hey, you. Stop chewing on my blueberries. So you can see these ones that the cage hasn't been able to get at. And they all generally have a lot more shoots. And once they get a lot more shoots, they just get a lot more bushy. If you don't protect them early on, they'll just be like 1 or 2 big stalks, and they'll be a pretty thin plant. So here's where some of the shoots were coming out of the cage, and you can see the bunnies already munched them down. So here's an example of one that did not have a cage on it until recently. You can see that it's kind of blurry, but you can see that one got chomped off, as well as the one next to it. But now there's a new one starting over here. Now that I have a cage around it, it'll hopefully get going a little bit better, so it won't wind up looking like this plant here, where there's just nothing at the base of it. This is one that hasn't had a cage on it, and I have a feeling in past years the new shoots got eaten by rabbits. This one too didn't have a cage on it until recently. These are about 9-10 inches tall. You can see they still managed to get chomped off by the rabbits. Even on a plant like this, it's this big a plant, and this one's probably about 4.5 feet tall. Even on one this big, these little shoots here, they are bound to get chomped on by the bunnies. They haven't yet, but they probably will be, and that's why it's usually good to even leave a small cage around the bottom of these bigger plants until you have as many canes as you want. This one has enough canes on it, so I'm not too worried about them. But if you only had 2 or 3 canes, so you probably want to get some more canes going, I would leave a cage around the bottom of it. There's the little guy. He is cute, but very destructive. So make sure you protect your blueberry plants from guys like this. They will chomp them down to the ground. Put a cage around your plant and slow these little buggers down. Well, see you later.